After 10 years of the Tournament of Power, our friends missed Goku's presence since 10 years ago he had left the Earth to train and nobody knew anything about him. Chi-Chi was very sad, but she had accepted that this was Goku's path. Even so, she hoped to see him someday. At one point, Chi-Chi would feel a noise outside her house that would attract her attention. What was that? Chi-Chi would wonder, terrified. Chi-Chi would leave the house. She would see Goku a few meters away. He was with a knee on the ground, and under him, he had left a large well. "Wow, Goku!" Chi-Chi would say, astonished. "Wow, that happens to me for wanting to get there fast," Goku would say. "Hello, Chi-Chi." She would greet Goku normally, as if she had only gone for a few days. "Goku, where the hell were you?" Chi-Chi would say, furious, although some tears fell. "I'm sorry, Chi-Chi. I was away for a few months because I had to train. I hope you know how to understand it," Goku would say. "A few months? Goku, you're away for 6 years. Goten is about to go to college," Chi-Chi would say, out of tune. 6 years? Damn, I went too far, Goku would say. "Do you forgive me?" Goku would say something sorry when putting his hands together. Chi-Chi would throw a slight grunt, but she would regroup. "There is no point with you. Getting angry will only make you age faster," Chi-Chi would say. "Come, I'll make you something to eat." Chi-Chi would prepare enough food for Goku, and he would eat as if there was no tomorrow. Meanwhile, on the planet of Beerus, Whis would realize that Goku had arrived on Earth. He knew he had to notify Beerus. "Mr. Beals, I have news," Whis would say. "I hope they are good. I'm not in a good mood. I haven't slept well," Beals would say seriously. "Mr. Goku has arrived on Earth," Whis would say. "Interesting," Beals would answer. "You can see how strong he has become?" Beals would ask. "From here, impossible," Whis would say. "Well, let's go to Earth," Beals would say. "Still with that concern?" Whis would ask. "A mortal who can use the Ultra Instinct over and over again? It is clearly something that I cannot let pass," Beals would say. Whis and Beals would travel to Earth. In a matter of hours, they would arrive. Vegeta was in the Capsule Corporation. He had felt the presence of the angel and the god of destruction. "I don't understand. What are they doing here?" Vegeta would ask. "They haven't come to Earth in years, and we don't know anything about them. Vegeta, are you okay?" Bulma would ask when she saw Vegeta tense. "Vegeta, I'm talking to you," Bulma insisted. "I have to go out," Vegeta would say as he raised his ki to go flying. "Heavens, I hate when the mysterious happens," Bulma would complain annoyingly, but that was Vegeta. Whis and Beals would arrive at Goku's home. This would come out instantly. "Whis, Beals, it's good to see you," Goku would say, excited. "Weren't you training with them?" Chi-Chi would ask. "No, I was training on my own while I knew other planets," Goku would say. "I told Mr. Goku that I had nothing to teach him, so I recommended him to undertake his own journey so that he applies everything I have taught him," Whis would say. "That's right, Master Roshi did the same with me and Krillin," Goku would say, remembering old moments of his childhood. Beals would contemplate Goku from top to bottom. He could notice it. Goku was different. His only presence was dense and impossible to go unnoticed. "Mr. Beals?" Goku would ask to notice the strange. Beals would study Goku meticulously. He would surround him without ceasing to pay attention. "Hey, do I have something stuck or what?" Goku would say, yet annoying. "You have trained very hard, but I see that your presence has changed," Beals would say. "Mr. Beals is right. His ki is totally different," Whis would say. "It could almost be said that he is a definitive warrior." "Definitive?" Goku would say, confused. Vegeta would arrive, meeting everyone. "Kakarot, you're back," Vegeta would say. "But I never saw your presence." "It's natural," Whis would say. "Your presence has changed." "That's not possible," Vegeta would say in a bad mood. "Vegeta, with the time we've been without seeing each other, you could at least receive me in a better way," Goku would say, somewhat discomfort with his friend. "So you have the presence of a definitive warrior," Beals would say. "A definitive warrior? Vegeta would ask. I don't understand anything they're talking about, Chi-Chi would say, confused. Don't worry, me neither, Goku would say, laughing. The definitive warrior is not someone who is simply very strong. It is defined as someone who has reached the purest state of their being, making their power worth their maximum expression, Whis would explain. You met a definitive warrior, Beerus, Vegeta would say, amazed. That's right, Mr. Beerus refers to none other than Mr. Jiren, Whis would say. Jiren, Goku and Vegeta would say at the same time. Jiren was always calm because he had reached the definitive state, Whis would say. Now that I think about it, Kakarot looks very different, Vegeta would think. Kakarot, I see you have trained. I have trained it too. No need to leave the Earth, Vegeta would say. I think is fine, Goku would say. But what do you want to get with that? I want to have a fight with you. Now, Vegeta would say by pointing it out. Do you accept? I don't know. I just got here, Goku would say. Could we do it on a different day? I see, Whis would think seriously. Mr. Goku knows perfectly well that Vegeta is not at his level. Come on, Kakarot, stop behaving like a coward, Vegeta would say, annoyed. Let's have a fight. I'll show you everything I have advanced. Vegeta, I already said no, Goku would answer seriously. Goku, honey, since when do you refuse a fight? Chi-Chi would say, confused. I understand. You're afraid to make a fool of yourself, Vegeta would say, trying to provoke Goku. Goku would be very serious at first. Then he would sigh, giving himself for defeated. Denying me will only delay it. Okay, we'll fight, Goku would say, defeated, but on one condition. What do you want? Vegeta would ask, surprised. We'll do it far away from here, Goku would say. Whatever, but stop wasting my time, Vegeta would answer. Goku and Vegeta would move away from there, looking for a clear area to be able to fight at ease. Whis and Beerus would go after them to appreciate the fight. What do you think of this, Mr. Beerus? Whis would ask. The result is more than obvious, Beerus would answer normally. Finally, our friends would reach a clear area where they could fight without anyone getting hurt or destroying anything. Very well, I hope you are ready, Vegeta would say, anxious to fight. But Goku did not look very motivated. I wonder how long it will last, Beerus would say in a boring way. Then he would sigh. Vegeta would increase his ki without using any transformation. He threw everything at Goku. Vegeta would attack with a fist blow, but Goku would block it instantly without altering his posture. It can't be, Vegeta would say, furious. Vegeta would attack with a series of blows at high speed. He gave it all, but Goku dodged only by moving his arms. It seemed that fighting against Vegeta did not offer any difficulty. This can't be happening, Vegeta would say, furious. Goku would throw a fist blow to Goku's face. He would not take the trouble to move. He received the blow on his face without receiving any damage. But how? Vegeta would say. Goku with a short blow to Vegeta's neck would leave him passed out. This result was to be expected, Beerus would say. Wow, I wanted to avoid this, Goku would say. Mr. Goku, why are you so worried about not wanting to show your power? Whis would ask. You know how Vegeta is. I just didn't want to hurt his pride, Goku would say. I see it now, asking me to train him to reach it, Whis would say in a tired tone. I just want to know something, Beerus would say when approaching Goku suspiciously. Is something bad happening? Goku would ask. I don't like that mortals transcend in that way. Bermuda allowed it in his universe, but not for that. It means that he commits the same imprudence, Beerus would say. Look, Beerus, if you're worried that I'll take your god of destruction from you, don't worry. I don't care at all, Goku would say. Don't try to act smart, Beerus would say, annoyed. I'm not disrespecting you. I'm just telling you the truth, Goku would answer. Goku would take Vegeta, who was still fainted. With your permission, I withdraw, Goku would say when flying away. Goku would withdraw while Beerus contemplated him furiously. Mr. Beerus, Whis would call when noticing the strange. Beerus would release energy of Hakai around him, leaving a large area of land absent by the destruction. The god of destruction was furious. He didn't like the idea of a mortal surpassing him. "That bastard Goku," Beerus would say between teeth. "Mr. Beerus, I think you're taking this too seriously," Whis would say. "Not at all. I can't allow a mortal to surpass me," Beerus would say, annoyed. "What things with you?" Whis would say, sighing. Goku would arrive at the Capsule Corporation. He would take Vegeta fainted. "Goku, I finally see you, and you bring me Vegeta in these conditions?" Bulma would say. "I'm sorry, he'll be fine. He just needs to rest," Goku would say. "Who did this to him?" Bulma would ask. "It was me." "Oh no, your uniform is impeccable. Don't tell me you easily defeated him?" Bulma would say. "In one blow, hehe. But don't tell him. Tell him we fight for a few minutes," Goku would say. "Do you know what this means?" Bulma would ask. "Yes, I know. He will be upset with wanting to train," Goku would say. "But he was insistent on wanting to fight me. If he didn't do it now, he would do it later, and he would continue to bother until it happened. He had no choice," Goku would say. Bulma would observe Vegeta carefully. You could already imagine what his obsession would be to approach Goku's level. "You've been out for a long time. Tell me, have you gotten stronger?" Bulma would say. "I have to go," Goku would say, without giving more importance to Bulma's doubt. Even so, Bulma could already imagine the answer. "Heavens, this Goku," Bulma would say. Goku would return home with Chi-Chi. It was almost night. "Goku, I didn't think you'd come back," Chi-Chi would say. "Why?" Goku would ask. "I don't know. The habit," Chi-Chi would say. "Are you hungry?" "I'm always hungry, hehe," Goku laughed. Meanwhile, on the planet of Beerus, the god of destruction was very worried about the situation. He feared that Goku, being a definitive warrior, would have surpassed him. Beerus did not stop walking from side to side. He was very nervous. "Mr. Beerus," Whis would call, annoying. "Stop walking like that. It makes me nervous," Whis would say impatiently. "I can't be calm with that damned Goku believing himself better than me," Beerus would say between teeth. "Stop worrying. You know that Mr. Goku has not wanted to show his true powers. Also, he is not a danger," Whis would say. "Know that he does not even look so interested in fighting. Surely he matured while training on his own." "No, I will not be calm," Beerus would say. "So what do you have in mind?" Whis would ask. Beerus would remain silent for a few seconds. He felt that there was only one way to solve his nerves. "Whis, let's go to Earth," Beerus would say. "Wait, what are you thinking?" Whis would ask, suspecting of the plans of the god of destruction. "I will finish Goku before he becomes a threat," Beerus would say. "Heavens, I did not think I would get that far," Whis would think. "Okay, as you order, sir," Whis would answer, although deep down he did not quite like the idea. Beerus and Whis would go straight to Earth. The god of destruction was willing to eliminate Goku at all costs, since he considered him a threat. Hours later, Beerus and Whis would finally arrive on Earth. Vegeta and Goku felt the presence of both. They felt that something was wrong. "Goku, is something wrong?" Chi-Chi would ask. "No, nothing happens," Goku would answer seriously. "I'll go get firewood. I'll be right back," Goku would say when leaving. "But we have gas kitchen," Chi-Chi would say, confused. Goku would embark on a journey straight to the location of Beerus and Whis. On arrival, Vegeta was also there. "Aren't you going to tell me why you came?" Vegeta would ask. "Goku," Beerus would say, completely ignoring Vegeta. "Beerus, I can feel the hostility in your energy." "What happens to you?" Goku would ask, distrusting of the god of destruction. Beerus would smile sinisterly. "I came for you," Beerus would say. "Can you tell me what is going on here?" Vegeta would say, annoyed, as he felt that they ignored him. "Mr. Vegeta, come a moment please," Whis would ask. Vegeta would approach the angel, although distrusting of him. He would notice the hostility between Goku and Beerus. Something was happening and it was evident to him. "Can you explain to me what is going on?" Vegeta would ask. "I'll just tell you one thing. Observe. Just do that," Whis would say. "This fight is out of your reach and it's none of your business." "What are you talking about?" Vegeta would say, annoyed. "I told him to just observe. What's the part he didn't understand?" Whis would say, annoyed. Vegeta would be surprised. Whis' attitude was something unusual in him. Goku and Beerus would observe with hatred. There was a lot of tension between them. "Beerus, you're looking at me as a threat just for my power," Goku would say. "I don't think it's fair that you have that impression of me. No mortal can surpass a god of destruction," Beerus would say, as he put on guard. "Beerus, I'm serious. It's not necessary for us to fight. We are not enemies," Goku would say. But the god of destruction completely ignored him. Beerus, from one moment to another, would reach Goku. He would hit him in his face with everything. Goku would step back a few meters, but he would go back to Beerus, kicking him in the stomach. "I tried to reason with you for good, but I see it's useless," Goku would say. Goku would turn into Super Saiyan Blue. His ki could be felt everywhere. "I can't believe that's Kakarot," Vegeta would say, surprised. "I told you," Whis would say, seriously. "You'll be fighting with everything, from the beginning. I hardly even recognize you," Beerus would say. Beerus screamed, raising his ki to the maximum. Both would throw each other, crashing their fists. Beerus and Goku would start exchanging blows fiercely. "Come on, Goku, you always wanted to fight me," Beerus would say. "That was in the past. I'm just doing it to defend myself," Goku would say firmly. Beerus would not let him attack with murderous intent. He was willing to disappear Goku at no cost. Beerus at one point kicked Goku. This would be covered by crossing arms. Goku would go several meters away, scraping his feet on the ground to cushion the impulse. Suddenly, Beerus was behind him. "Take this," Beerus would say, by placing a Kakai ball on Goku's back. Goku would begin to surround himself with energy of destruction that threatened to disappear him. Even so, he did not look worried. The Kakai continued to surround Goku, but it would turn and observe Beerus with a smile. "It can't be," Beerus would say, terrified by taking a few steps back. Goku would scream, generating a slight wave of ki. The Kakai around him would completely disappear. "Bastard, you were ready for this. You were planning it," Beerus would say, furious. "I'm always ready for anything. It was part of my training," Goku would say, by hitting Beerus in the stomach. Beerus would be hunched on the ground, then a hook would lift him in the air. Beerus would fall to the ground a few meters away. "I knew it," Beerus would say as he got up. "You were planning to fight me. You are not the only one who knows how to use the Kakai," Goku would say seriously. "Then you plan to reveal yourself to all the gods of destruction," Beerus would say by pointing it out in a threatening way. "Beerus, really? You behave like a paranoid," Goku would say. "Stop worrying. I don't plan anything against you." "Bastard. I know you will do it, and I won't allow it," Beerus would say. Goku would surge close to Beerus at high speed, but he wouldn't expect what was about to happen. "I give up," Goku would say, by sighing. "Oh," Whis would say, astonished. "What?" Beerus would say, by stopping. He was bewildered by Goku's words. He had never expected it. "I gave up," Goku would say. "What are you talking about, you big fool?" Beerus would say, furiously. "I gave up. You are stronger, and that's why you are the winner," Goku smiled. Beerus was more and more furious. Goku had hit him where it hurt him the most, in his pride. "I don't understand," Vegeta would say, confused. "Well, Mr. Goku has done it," Whis would say. "But Mr. Beerus, no. What a pity." "You don't want to make fun of me," Beerus would say. "I don't do it. I recognize you as the most powerful in Universe 7. Goodbye," Goku would say. Goku would leave with the teleportation, without giving Beerus the opportunity to answer. "That bastard," Beerus would say, out of self. "Mr. Beerus, we better go," Whis would say. "No way," Beerus would scream as he unleashed a storm of ki around him. "I never saw the god himself of destruction in this way," Vegeta would think. "Mr. Beerus, please, let's go home," impatient Whis would say. "You don't understand. He just made fun of me," Beerus would say. "In front of my eyes, he dares to damage the pride of a god of destruction? I will not leave him alive for such an offense." "Oh, please, get over it. He just doesn't want to fight you, since he is a definitive warrior and he has had the understanding of the true power. If he continues to behave like this, he will end up losing. Goku would return to his house as if nothing had happened. Goku? Chi-Chi would say suspiciously. Chi-Chi, I'm back, Goku would say, somewhat embarrassed. What are you hiding? Chi-Chi would ask. Nothing, I swear, Goku would answer. And the firewood? Chi-Chi would say.
The firewood, Goku would say, forgetting the excuse to leave. Don't be stupid, Goku. I already realized that you didn't go looking for the firewood. Besides, it's been a while since we used it to cook, Chi-Chi would say, annoyed. Tell me where you went. You see, it's just that, Goku said, intimidated. But suddenly his expression would become serious. Goku would get up a few meters. He would hit a key ball that went straight to his house. He would deflect it and thus impact far in the mountains. What's going on? Chi-Chi would say, terrified to realize the situation. Beerus, Goku would say, furious. He would see the god of destruction in front of him, with a stretched hand pointing out that he had been the attacker. I never said we were done fighting, Beerus would say, seriously. Beerus, you're going too far, Goku would say, annoyed. Goku, what's going on? Chi-Chi would ask, worried. Whis and Vegeta would arrive to contemplate the confrontation. Wow, he has taken it more seriously than usual, Whis would say. I came to eliminate you, Beerus would say in a sinister tone. Goku, Chi-Chi would call, worried. Damn, it's dangerous for her, Goku would think. I have to fight Beerus in a safe area. Goku would throw everything at Beerus while he transformed into Super Saiyan Blue, but before he arrived, he would simply disappear. Where did he go? Beerus would ask when looking for him everywhere. Goku would appear behind Beerus and take him from there with the teleportation. Beerus and Goku would arrive on a strange planet. What is this place? Beerus would ask. It's a place where I can kick your ass without hurting anyone other than you, Goku would say in a threatening way. Don't think it will be that easy for you, Beerus would say. Now you will see what will happen to you for messing with the people I love, Goku would say when exploiting his ki with everything. Beerus would step back a few steps. He felt a lot of fear. I forgot that the Saiyans strengthen with anger, Beerus would think when considering it better before provoking him. Goku from one moment to another would reach Beerus with a strong punch. Beerus would leave far away at great speed. On trips without being able to react, he would receive a kick on the back of Goku that had reached him. Beerus would rise to the top of the sky as a result of the blow. It can't be that strong, Beerus would think. By the time Beerus could open his eyes, he would realize hundreds of ki balls. It can't be, Beerus would say, terrified. Beerus would cover himself by crossing his arms. The god of destruction would try to resist all the ki balls, but they were too many. After several consecutive explosions, Beerus would fall to the ground with his body releasing smoke everywhere. It can't be. A mortal shouldn't beat a god of destruction. It's humiliating, Beerus would say with a shaken breath. I'll never forgive you for threatening Chi-Chi. If I didn't get to be attentive, you could have killed her, Goku furious would say. Goku would reach Beerus with a strong punch in his stomach. The god of destruction would cough blood, seeing himself unable to move. Then Goku would hold him by the neck with one hand and would keep hitting him over and over again with his free hand. Beerus was being subdued by Goku. He couldn't do anything to free himself. Bastard, you don't know how furious I am with you, Goku would say when he would release Beerus. The god of destruction would fall to the ground. I knew it. You're dangerous, Beerus would say without being able to get up. And you're still doing that? Goku would say. Goku would hit Beerus' stomach. The god of destruction would be fired a few meters away. Well, I guess it doesn't matter, Goku would say when he would relax. He had already gotten all his anger out. Goku would take Beerus and with the teleportation he would return to Earth. I told you he would return, Whis would say to Vegeta. Goku would throw Beerus to the ground near where Whis was. Get him out of here and don't let him come back, Goku would say. I see that you took the trouble to leave him alive, Whis would say. I don't interest in killing him, but he has been close, Goku would say. Please heal him and tell him on my behalf that he never messes with mine again." "Okay," Whis would say. "I hope he takes care of himself." Whis would go with Beerus back to his planet to be able to heal the god of destruction. While on Earth, Vegeta would ask Goku for explanations. "Don't tell me you were able to defeat Beerus, the god of destruction," Vegeta would say, astonished. "You saw how he came back," Goku would say. "I almost destroyed Chi-Chi. I wasn't going to allow it." "But do you realize that now he'll be our enemy?" Vegeta would ask. "I left him alive. He should be grateful for it," Goku would say. "Don't worry, Vegeta. If he comes back, I will give him more of the same." Hours later, Beerus would wake up. "What happened?" Beerus would say, terrified. "Where am I?" "Calm down, you're on your planet," Whis would say. "I had a very strange dream," Beerus would say. "I dreamed that Goku became a definitive warrior, and that he defeated me like nothing." "Mr. Beerus, that wasn't a dream, it really happened," Whis would explain. "Goku gave him such a beating that he even made him believe that it was all a dream." "It can't be," Beerus would say, furious. "That really happened." "That's right, and it will be better if he forgets about Earth. Next time, Goku won't forgive him for life," the angel warned. "No, I have an idea of how to end Goku," Beerus would finish by saying, determined. Apparently, he had a plan of how to end Goku. Beerus felt a great resentment towards Goku. He had been humiliated. Therefore, the god of destruction was willing to do whatever it took to get rid of Goku. A few days later, Beerus was in the garden of his house. It had been a long time without saying a word. "At least Mr. Beerus seems to have forgotten about the matter with Mr. Goku," Whis would say to the Oracle Fish without the god of destruction listening to him. "Whis, I need you to talk to Beerus. I require hit service," Beerus would say. "Why do you need the service of a murderer?" Whis would ask. "To take care of Goku once and for all," Beerus would say. "Wow, what am I talking about?" the Oracle Fish would faint. Whis would be terrified by this incident. "Oracle Fish," Whis would say, worried. Whis would attend to the Oracle Fish. This, after a few minutes, would open his eyes. "Oracle Fish, are you okay?" Whis would ask. "I had a vision," Oracle Fish would say. "A warrior would alter the balance of Universe 7. His power will shake even the same gods and could destroy everything. With more reason, we have to take care of Goku," Beerus would say, alert. "There is no doubt that it is a danger to Universe 7. "Mr. Beerus, let me tell you something. You are the one who is making it dangerous," Whis would say. "Nonsense. Goku has become a definitive warrior. There cannot be a mortal with that power," Beerus would say, furious. "You don't realize Goku must be exterminated. And for that, I have a plan." On Earth, Goku would be meditating. He was just relaxing his mind while concentrating on Beerus. He had the strange feeling that something could happen soon, and it was not very difficult to think given his last encounter with Beerus. Chi-Chi would go to see Goku. She would notice him more serious than usual. "Goku, honey, are you okay?" Chi-Chi would ask. "Yes, don't worry," Goku would say. "You've been very quiet these days," Chi-Chi would say. "Look, Chi-Chi, I didn't want to worry you, but it makes no sense to hide it," Goku would sigh. "Beerus fears me for my power. I have become stronger than him, and as a god of destruction, he feels hurt. He will do the impossible to defeat me. And that includes using you as hostages." "For God's sake, I can't believe it," Chi-Chi would say. "Maybe if we go to another planet where things are calmer, surely that will be a good idea." "No, I'm not going to run away," Goku would say. "But Goku," Chi-Chi would say, confused. "If we go, he will understand that we're fleeing," Goku would say. "He will look for us everywhere without rest." "So, what will we do?" Chi-Chi would ask. "The last time I forgave the life for respect to the Kaioshin. But next time, things will be different," Goku would say, determined. Days later, Beerus and Whis would arrive at Champa's planet. "Brother, how annoying you are," Champa would say. "Stop complaining. I only asked you a favor," Beerus would say. I don't understand why you need Hit. There are no more murderers in the vast Universe 7? Champa would ask. It turns out that Mr. Beerus has not traveled his universe lately, so he doesn't know other murderers, Whis would explain. That's not true, Beerus would say.
Hit knows about Goku's abilities, but I don't want him to fight him. I need his stealth skills. He shouldn't take long to arrive. I already asked him to come as soon as I was told, Vados would say. Hit would arrive using his new transport cube. Why does he have a transport cube? With it he can travel to other universes, Beerus would say. It's so he can travel to other universes. Champa would answer. Clown, you think you're funny? Beerus Furious would say. Mr. Champa has been attentive to Mr. Hit, giving him certain services, Vados would say. One of his payments was with the transport cube. Although he doesn't usually leave Universe 6, it is very useful for his work. I came as soon as I was called, Hit would say seriously. Hit, what a joy to see you, Beerus would say, with a sinister smile. I understand that you have a job for me in Universe 7, Hit would say, without further expression. That's right, but it's not an ordinary job, Beerus would say. The next day on Earth, everything seemed to go in order. Goku was silent all day. He was focused on waiting for a new plan from Beerus. Goku, you've been too tense lately. You worry me, Chi-Chi would say. I'm just attentive. At any moment, Beerus will try something, and I can't be calm until I find out what he's going to do, Goku would say. Several days have passed. Maybe he doesn't want problems anymore, Chi-Chi would say. If you only knew Beerus, Goku would say. He has destroyed entire planets just because he didn't like his food or his people. It's more capricious than it seems. In the Capsule Corporation, Vegeta and Bulma were attentive to a possible attack from Beerus. Do you really think Beerus will try something with Earth? Bulma would ask. We were getting along so well lately that it seems very strange to me that he behaves that way. If you only knew Beerus, you would know that he is capable of going far as long as they try to offend him, Vegeta would say. That's why I'm not training with Whis anymore. I don't want him to use me for his plans. Meanwhile, Hit would enter the Capsule Corporation undetected. He was using his ability to be incorporeal so as not to be detected by any type of alarm. I can't believe a murderer like me has to do such a simple job like this, Hit would think. Hit would find the Dragon Balls and take them away. At that moment, the alarms of the Capsule Corporation would begin to sound. It can't be. They had motion sensors after all, Hit would say. Since despite being in spectral form, security had detected the lack of the Dragon Balls at the time of leaving his lair. Vegeta and Bulma would go in a hurry. They would realize that the Dragon Balls were no longer there. It can't be. The Dragon Balls, Bulma would say. Who could do this? Vegeta would ask. I'll have to check the cameras. The strange thing is that only the sensors on the Dragon Balls were activated, but none of those that were in the entire deposit, Bulma would say, confused. Bulma would check the recordings. She would see how the Dragon Balls simply faded by magic. It doesn't make sense. They just disappeared, Bulma would say. Wait a minute. Something is wrong, Vegeta would say, when he noticed something strange in the image. It doesn't have heat sensors or something. Bulma would activate the thermal camera. You could see a silhouette taking the Dragon Balls. I don't understand. How is only his temperature there? Bulma would ask, bewildered. Hit, Vegeta would say. Are you sure? Bulma would ask. Yes, I am. The shape of his head leaves it in evidence, Vegeta would say. Hours later, Hit would arrive with the Dragon Balls to the planet of Beerus. Good job, Beerus would say. Anyway, they must know they were stolen. The alarms were activated. I doubt they know it's about me, Hit would say. That's the least of it. I want them to know they were stolen, Beerus would say. But I don't understand, Hit would say, confused. I paid you to do your job, not to ask irrelevant questions, Beerus would say. Whis, pay him to leave once and for all. Whis would pay Hit, and he would leave without asking for more explanations. At that moment, Goku would arrive at the Capsule Corporation. I came as soon as I was called, Goku would say, alert. Hit stole the Dragon Balls, Bulma would say. It doesn't make sense. Hit is a murderer, not a thief, Goku would say. Well, we saw it on the cameras, Bulma would say. I know what's going on. Goku would take his fingers to his forehead. He would disappear with the teleportation. In an instant, he was on the planet of Beerus. Goku, what a surprise. Beerus would say. Don't play dumb. You paid Hit to steal the Dragon Balls, Goku would say. You have proof? Beerus would ask. Sure, Goku would say. Goku would take out the dragon's radar. It would mark the 7 spheres nearby. What does this tell you? Goku would say, when he showed Beerus the radar. Damn, Beerus would say, in a bad mood. I think I told him they had that, Whis would say. Anyway, I was counting on you to come. In fact, it was my initial plan, Beerus would say with a malevolent smile. Stop playing dumb. What do you gain by annoying Whis this way? Goku would say. Get out of my way, Beerus would say. What are you talking about? Goku would ask. Whis would use his staff. The Dragon Balls would float from the inside of the castle to Beerus. Do you want them? Beerus would ask, making fun of Goku. I'm trying to do this without having to kill you, but you're not helping, Goku furious would answer. Whis, now, Beerus would order. Sir, I don't think so, Whis would say, without being very convinced. I said now, Beerus would say, loudly. Whis, don't tell me you'll support him in this, Goku furious would say. I'm sorry, Mr. Goku, but know that I am his faithful servant, Whis would say seriously. Whis, Goku would say while he was transforming into Super Saiyan Blue. Isn't this the prophecy of the Oracle Fish? Whis would wonder when he noticed Goku's aggressiveness. Your time is up, Beerus would smile, waiting for Goku to fall into his trap. Once Goku enters that portal, he will never return to Universe 7, Beerus would think. Suddenly, Beerus would be hunched over when he realized he had Goku's fist on his stomach. When? Beerus would think, in pain. Goku would hold Beerus by the neck, separating his feet from the ground. Whis, return the Dragon Balls or I'll kill you, Goku would say. Whis would notice a special glow in Goku's eyes. These seemed to turn red for a moment. Mr. Beerus, Whis would say, waiting for his order. I'm telling you, Goku would say. Take them out right now.
Beerus would try to speak, but he could barely breathe. Whis would sigh. He knew it didn't make sense to continue with this. He would bring the Dragon Balls back. Here they are, Whis would say. Goku would release Beerus. He would move away at the terrifying moment. Damn it, Whis, Beerus would say. I was going to kill him. It doesn't matter, Whis would say. By the way, Beerus, you've come too far, Goku would say. What do you mean? Beerus would ask, terrified. Goku would elevate his ki to a level never seen before, even more than in his last fight with Beerus. Damn it, Beerus would say. Goku would reach Beerus with a strong blow to the chest. The god of destruction would come out of this far away directly to his castle, destroying part of the structure with his impulse. Wow, it seems more annoying than usual, Whis would say. Whis, the terrified Oracle Fish would call. It's him. It's the one from the prophecy, the Oracle Fish would say. I see, Whis would say. Beerus would rise with the few forces he had left. At that moment, Goku would come with an attack that would pierce his stomach from side to side. Beerus would cough blood while his vision became blurry. Goku had seriously injured Beerus. Beerus would take his hand out of his body. The god of destruction would fall on his knees while he lost blood. It can't be. How dare you? Beerus would say, agonizing. You asked for it, Goku would say when he pointed at Beerus with his hand while he was carrying ki in it. Whis, Beerus would call. Angels are not allowed to interfere, you know it, Goku would say seriously. I'm sorry for the Kaioshin, but this is your end. No, wait, Beerus would say, terrified. Goku would throw a great beam of ki, burning Beerus in sight. The attack was so powerful that it would reach Beerus's castle and destroy much of it. Goku would turn furious. He would hate Whis because he had Beerus in his arms. You saved him, Goku would say, furious, when he released ki around him. Mr. Goku, I'm sorry for all this, Whis would say. Whis would support Beerus on the ground. He was unconscious. Then the angel would heal the wound of the god of destruction. And where was that of being an impartial angel? Goku would ask aggressively. I already told you, I am the servant and master of Mr. Beerus, Whis would answer seriously. Although I have not been allowed to intervene, On occasions like this, I can make an exception. Of course, I will have to notify this to the supreme gods, Whis would explain. I have to kill him. His existence is a threat, Goku would say. Whis would be careful. He would not say anything at first. He was studying Goku carefully. I told you, it's him, the terrified Oracle would say. Mr. Goku, I told Mr. Beerus the same thing since he started with all this problem. Do not look for more conflict. Beerus will not do any more, Whis would say. Damn it, Whis, don't you see everything he did? Goku, furious, would ask. If I don't kill him, sooner or later he will try something again. He looked for it, and you have it more than clear. Maybe. I promised to try to convince him, Whis would say, when he understood Goku's reasons. No, Goku would say, while his ki was shooting even more. He is worse than Freezer. Get away. I have to finish him. His power is growing too much. This is becoming worrying, Whis would think. Get away, I demanded, Goku walking slowly towards Whis. No, Whis would answer with simplicity. Get away, Goku would say. No, Whis would say. Goku would lose control completely. He would throw everything at Beerus. Before reaching him, Whis would hit him with his staff, removing Goku from the god of destruction. I told him no, Whis would say, on guard. I don't want to fight you, but if you are going to protect Beerus, you will become my enemy, Goku would threaten. I don't want to fight either, but if you attack me, you will see the painful obligation to defend me, Whis would say. And believe me, I do not recommend it. If I have to fight seriously, you would not survive. Goku would scream, raising his ki to the maximum. His eyes would turn red even though they were in blue form. That is something beyond a definitive warrior, Whis would think. He is a prodigy warrior. Goku would throw everything at Whis. Whis would arrive with a punch loaded with ki. Whis would cover himself with his staff. A great burst of energy would blow the area around them. It is not possible, Whis would think. Goku would disappear before Whis's eyes. From one moment to another, the angel would turn, covering himself with a kick from Goku. Goku had reached his back in such a short time that even the angel did not expect it. That's speed, Whis would think. Whis would hold Goku's ankle. In one move, he would throw it away. Goku would be fired at high speed, but he would disappear again. A side of Whis would appear and connect a punch to the face that would turn to one side. Whis would take a few steps back, and in that distraction, Goku would throw a ball of ki at Whis. It is not possible, Whis would say. Beerus was still unconscious on the ground, but Whis would arrive in time to reject Goku's attack. That's enough, Whis would say. The angel began to lose patience. I will not rest until I eliminate Beerus. Whis would create a portal and throw Beerus toward him to protect him from the fierce combat that they both maintained. I guess now I can take care of you without worries, Whis would say. What did you do with Beerus? Goku would ask. I sent him to another dimension, Whis would say. Where? Goku would ask insistently. That doesn't matter. Leave this aside. I give you the opportunity to leave. Whis would say that apparently he had lost the desire to fight. If I leave now, you will return to Beerus, Goku would say. Naturally, Whis would answer. Then I guess the only way to be calm is to end you, Goku would say. You can't be serious, Whis would say. Goku would go at full speed towards Whis. Both would hold hands and begin to struggle. The angel could not believe the great strength that Goku possessed. It was something that he would never have imagined by a mortal like him. It cannot be true. In the end, Mr. Beerus was not so wrong, Whis would think. Goku is more dangerous than I expected. Goku would begin to overcome little by little the grip against Whis, but the angel would decide to fight seriously. He would increase his strength and begin to bend Goku's hands little by little. Goku suffered a great pain, but the determination in him forbade him to give up. Goku, in a desperate movement, would hit Whis in the forehead with a headbutt. The angel would move his head back a bit, but he would not let go of Goku. That was a strong blow, Whis would think. Goku and Whis would begin to hit each other in the head.
They did it over and over again without stopping, until Goku decides to free himself and take a few steps back. "Damn, you have a very hard head," Goku would say as he rubbed his forehead. "Look who's talking," Whis would answer by passing his hand over his forehead. Goku decides to resume the fight. He would begin to attack Whis. The angel dodged Goku's blows. Even so, he did not take the situation lightly. Goku was now a worthy rival to whom he should not underestimate. At a time when Goku neglects his guard, Whis hits him hard on the stomach. Goku would go far away, scraping his feet on the ground, trying not to lose his posture. "Damn," Goku would say as he touched his stomach. Whis would put himself on guard and raise his foot, scaring Goku for his great power. "It's not true," Goku would say, furious. Even so, he did not give up the idea of defeating the angel. On the planet of Xeno, both Grand Priest and the Kings of Everything, they could not help but realize the fight. Goku's and Whis' power could be felt from where they were. Among the three, they would see the fight really amazed. "Goku is very strong," both Xeno-samas would say, excited. "Do you want me to intervene?" Grand Priest would ask. "Are you crazy?" a Xeno would say. "The fight is very fun," the other Xeno would say. "As you say, gentlemen," Grand Priest would say when making a reverence. Goku and Whis were still fighting. Whis had the advantage at the moment, although the difference was not much. Whis and Goku fought at the top of the sky. They would be exchanging blows neutrally. In an opportunity, the angel hits Goku's face, and after a hammer blow, he would knock him down. Goku would fall at great speed to the ground, but during the fall, he would manage to cushion the speed. Goku would fall leaning on his feet on the ground, but he would see hundreds of energy balls towards him. "Damn," Goku would say, terrified, since the energy balls were so many that it was impossible to count them. Goku would move from side to side at great speed. The energy balls impacted the ground, generating explosions. Goku kept dodging, but they were too many even for him. At one point, he was forced to stop. He would stretch his arms to create a barrier, managing to resist most attacks. Goku fought to keep the barrier active, but it was really hard for him. "I have to do something," Goku would say. Goku would force his ki, creating a great explosion of energy that would remove all the ki balls, although at a considerable cost of energy. "Not bad," Whis would say. "You have progressed a lot from what I see." "I don't need your approval," Goku would answer, furiously. "Can I give you one last chance?" Whis would offer. "If you decide to leave this here, I promise that Mr. Beerus will never bother you again." "What would Beerus have done?" Xeno would ask. "Yes, what would Beerus have done?" Xeno would ask. "Who knows?" Grand Priest would say. Whis and Goku would go one-on-one to a fist fight. Both fists would collide with each other. Goku already showed signs of fatigue, while Whis looked like nothing. "It's enough," Whis would say. Goku would close his eyes for a moment. He felt helpless because he was aware that his energies were running out, but he didn't want to give up for anything in the world. Goku would force his ki using Kaioken. For 10. "Are you crazy?" Whis would say. Goku would begin to attack Whis with a rain of punches one after another. Whis would cover himself from each of them, but every once in a while, a blow would flow through the guard connecting to the angel. "You are committing suicide," the angel warned, but Goku was blinded. Goku would kick Whis in the head. He would cover himself by crossing his arms, going back several meters. Goku would take the lead in distance and would begin to channel energy for a Kamehameha. "I have to use all my forces in this attack," Goku would say. Goku would say as he accumulated his energy in his hands. Goku would scream as he executed his attack. "It's incredible," Whis would say as he contemplated such an immense attack towards him. Whis would stretch his arms. He would begin to resist all the energy at first, but the attack was more powerful than he expected. Whis' arms would begin to get tired. It was too much power even for the angel himself. Finally, the attack would win. Whis would be attracted by Goku's Kamehameha. After a great explosion that would throw Goku himself far away, we see Whis with his clothes made of braids. His skin exuded smoke. He was in terrible condition.
"That was great," both Inosamas would say. "That was a great attack," Grand Priest would say, contemplating Goku's great power. However, Goku would lose his transformation at the end of his attack. He breathed with difficulty. Whis, despite his condition, could breathe normally. "I congratulate him, but he reached his limit," Whis would say. Goku would put his eyes in white. He would fall to the ground. "Goku lost," and Zeno would say. "Yes, Goku lost," the other Zeno would say. "It was a glorious encounter. I haven't seen a fight like this in a long time," Grand Priest would say. Whis coached Goku slowly. He was still alive. He had only spent all his strength. "Now I wonder what I will do with him," Whis would say. Grand Priest and the kings of everything would arrive on the planet of Beerus. Whis was nervous. It was clear that for them they had seen the fight. "I wonder why they are here," Whis would say. "We saw the fight and it was fun," the Inosamas would say. "Son, look at your clothes," Grand Priest would say. The Supreme Priest would stretch his hand towards Whis. With magic, he would give him new clothes. "I thank you very much, Father," Whis would say. "We have news about Mr. Goku." What could happen now that Goku was close to the level of Whis? What will happen with Beerus from now on? And also, what will be the plans for Goku? We will know all this in the next part of this theory. Friends, I hope you liked the movie of Goku the Definitive Warrior. Remember that if you want to see more parts of this theory, this video has to reach 200 likes and many comments, and I will upload more parts and movies without fail. Leave your like, comment, and subscribe for more theories. See you in a next video.
The Dragon Ball universe is more alive today than ever. And even after 4 decades, the franchise continues to surprise us with bold new directions, nostalgic homages, and stories that capture the imagination of fans across generations. So today we're diving into the most exciting news and developments from the world of Dragon Ball. From powerful transformations to cultural milestones and what's next for the series. Let's begin with one of the most talked about events in recent memory, Piccolo's orange form. In Dragon Ball Super Hero, Piccolo receives a divine upgrade from Shenron himself, unlocking a new transformation fans are calling Orange Piccolo. With a bulked-up physique, radiant orange skin, and an aura of overwhelming power, this form finally brings Piccolo into the top ranks of Dragon Ball fighters. According to Akira Toriyama, this was a long time coming. He wanted to give Piccolo more relevance again, and fans couldn't agree more. It's a moment of redemption for one of the franchise's most iconic characters. But Dragon Ball's influence doesn't stop at the screen. At Japan Expo 2025, something truly unexpected happened. The president of France, Emmanuel Macron, made an appearance. And yes, he did a Kamehameha on stage. Standing next to Kazuhiko Taneshima, Toriyama's original editor, Macron gave an emotional tribute to Dragon Ball's impact on French culture. It was a surreal moment, proof that this story about warriors and gods has transcended borders and become something global. Now, let's talk about something that lit a fire under longtime fans. In a recent TV ad, we got a glimpse of what Dragon Ball Z could look like if it were remade today. The commercial featured Bulma reimagined in stunning modern animation, moving through moments from the Saiyan, Namek, and Android sagas. It wasn't a full series, not yet, but the response from fans was overwhelming. Could a full remake of DBZ with today's animation quality be on the horizon? For many, it's no longer a question of if, but when. And then there's Dragon Ball Daima, the newest entry in the franchise. This series flips the script by turning Goku and his friends back into children, but with a twist. Instead of being a lighthearted adventure like GT, Daima features more intense storytelling and mysterious new villains. The art is colorful, the action is crisp, and the tone strikes a balance between classic Dragon Ball humor and darker, more mature themes. Not only has Daima gained a loyal fanbase, it's also been nominated for Best Anime Series at the 2025 Astra Awards. That's a huge deal. It shows the series is being recognized not just for its legacy, but for its current creativity and quality. And if you're a collector, here's something you don't want to miss. A special limited edition Blu-ray box set of Dragon Ball Daima has just dropped in Japan.
It includes never-before-seen Toriyama artwork, full 4K resolution episodes, exclusive art books, collectible pins, and even handwritten notes from the creative team. For many, it's not just merchandise, it's a piece of anime history. But the surprises don't end there. We also got 2 brand new original songs for the Daima anime. The opening theme, Jekka-Jan by Z and C&K, has a wild, upbeat energy that feels like classic Dragon Ball, modernized. And the ending theme, Nakama, created with Japanese singer A, is emotional, reflective, and reminds us that friendship and loyalty are at the core of every Dragon Ball story. Together, these tracks give the new series its own unique musical identity. Now, what about the future? Executive producer Akio Iyoku recently confirmed that more Dragon Ball content is in the works. That includes new anime series, feature films, and even games, all planned for release between 2025 and 2026. While details are still under wraps, there's a sense that we're standing on the edge of a new era, possibly even a franchise reboot that could retell the original Dragon Ball story with a modern twist. There's also speculation that Black Frieza, the terrifying new version of Goku's oldest enemy, may return soon as well. We've seen hints in the manga, but his true power remains a mystery. Many believe he'll play a major role in the next anime arc, setting up a new chapter that could rival the Tournament of Power. And what about the Saiyans from Universe 6? Khalifa, Kale, and Kaba were introduced during the Multiverse arc, and fans have been eager to see more of their world and evolution. So far, the manga hasn't brought them back, but with all the new content coming, the door is open wide. Beyond that, there's the long-rumored Dragon Ball Online World project, a game that's said to feature a global multiplayer experience with Saiyan avatars, unique story modes, and live events tied to anime releases. If it's real, it could take the franchise into a new interactive era. And finally, we have to take a moment to acknowledge what's really kept this series going after all these years: the community. From cosplayers to content creators, from parents sharing episodes with their kids, to artists making fan manga and animations, Dragon Ball has become more than just a show. It's a multi-generational phenomenon, and that's something no Super Saiyan transformation can top. So, whether you first met Goku in the 80s or you just binged Super last week, this is a golden time to be a Dragon Ball fan. And if the rumors are true, the best may still be ahead. Stay powered up. The story continues. You know, it's easy to forget just how far Dragon Ball has come. What started as a quirky manga about a monkey-tailed boy searching for magical orbs turned into a global phenomenon that's inspired generations. It taught us about struggle, growth, sacrifice, and the power of believing in yourself no matter how impossible the odds. We watched Goku grow up, from a wild child in the mountains to the most powerful warrior in the multiverse. We saw Vegeta go from cold-hearted prince to proud protector. We cried when Gohan defeated Cell. We held our breath when Goku first went Super Saiyan. And we laughed, cheered, and argued about power levels for years. But more than anything, Dragon Ball became a part of us. It's that theme song you still remember. It's that action figure on your shelf. It's that memory of watching the Cell games with your cousin or waking up early for Saturday morning reruns. It's something that connects us across languages, borders, and ages. And now, with a new generation watching Daima, collecting cards, playing the games, and discovering the legacy for the first time, the torch is being passed again. So here's to the dreamers, to the fans who never stopped yelling Kamehameha, to the artists, the writers, the animators, old and new, who keep Goku's journey alive. And to the future, wherever it may take us. Because one thing is certain. As long as there's someone willing to fight for what's right, as long as the spirit of adventure lives on, Dragon Ball will never end.
All right, before you head off, I just want to take a moment to really thank you for sticking with us through this deep dive into the amazing universe of Dragon Ball. It's honestly because of passionate fans like you that this franchise has thrived for decades and keeps evolving, surprising, and inspiring millions around the world every single day. If you found yourself excited by the latest transformations, intrigued by the mysteries of the multiverse, or simply nostalgic about the heroes and villains we all grew up loving, then I have something special to share with you. We actually have a secondary channel dedicated entirely to exploring even more of what makes Dragon Ball so incredible. This isn't just your average highlight reel or news update. On that channel, we dive way deeper. You'll find content that explores alternate realities, what-if scenarios, hidden character backstories, detailed battle analyses, fan theories that might just blow your mind, and exclusive looks at the lore that often flies under the radar. Whether you're a hardcore veteran who's been watching since the original series aired, or a newer fan discovering the franchise for the first time, that channel is made for people who want to go beyond the surface and really understand the full scope of the Dragon Ball saga. And the best part? The link to this treasure trove of content is right there in the description below, so you don't have to go searching all over the internet. Just scroll down, click the link, and boom, you're in. If you haven't already, make sure to hit the subscribe button on that channel. That way you'll be the first to know when new videos drop. And don't forget to tap the notification bell so you never miss an update. We post frequently, and we want you to be part of every new story, theory, or exciting development we uncover together. We truly believe that the Dragon Ball community is one of the most passionate, creative, and welcoming groups out there, and we'd be honored to have you as part of it. The discussions, the fan art, the shared memories, it all creates something special, a family bound by love for this timeless saga. So if you're hungry for more Dragon Ball content that goes beyond the usual, ready to explore the multiverse with us, or just want to hang out with fellow fans who get it, then our secondary channel is the place for you. Thank you so much for your support. Watching, commenting, liking, and sharing, it means the world to us. Every view, every message, every subscription helps keep this channel alive and thriving so we can keep bringing you the kind of content you love. Until next time, keep pushing your limits, keep dreaming big, and most importantly, keep enjoying the incredible journey that is Dragon Ball. And remember, the adventure doesn't stop here. Head over to the secondary channel and let's keep this legendary saga going together. Stay legendary, my friends.